Arcade Perfect by Arse.
Okay guys, welcome to another Arcade Perfect my Arse. This game today is Operation Wolf, a game which is hugely familiar to most of you, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out, it's a great game. So anyway, this is the arcade version. The arcade one was actually, it was a light gun. It had an actual sort of a proper kind of Uzi, well not a proper one, but it had an Uzi machine gun mounted on the front of the thing, and it was a really good game. So anyway, let's batter on. This is the arcade version, as I was saying.
Operation initiated.
Now I'm playing this using a trackball. You can see there the sight on the front of the thing. This is obviously the next best way to play these games. I'm not lucky enough to have a light gun for the main cab. This was ported to a fair number of machines back in the day. Interestingly, when I've been doing a bit of research for this game, it doesn't appear to have, it wasn't ported to any of the, it wasn't ported to the Mega Drive or the SNES. I think it came out probably just a wee bit too early. Now it's fairly playable, I must admit, using the mouse. Hey! It's definitely a lot easier than some of the versions I've been playing.
In demolishing the communication setup, cutting off the enemy from rescue.
Yeah, this the sequel to this was Operation Thunderbolt. It was slightly different. It was kind of a scrolling. It was kind of a scrolling version. You know, the enemies kind of came running towards you. But again, that was ported to, I think, pretty much all of the home consoles again at the time. Looks like I'm going to be dead. Yeah.
You have sustained a
Let's go for one more go.
Sorry, but you
So it looks like you've only got one sort of energy bar for the whole of the game, which makes it fairly tough. Why didn't that don't know what's going on there. Alright, okay. There we go.
Operation initiated.
You can see there you've got 6 magazines of bullets and what is it, 5 grenades. So they're in fairly small supply, so you've got to be quite careful. Oh, bollocks. Taking a hammer in here. And you don't actually have enough grenades to destroy all the vehicles, so you've got to just blast them as well. But then at the same time you're using bullets, so it's all about resource management as well, and not being too trigger happy like I am. Okay, I'm only what, near to death again, I think.
Polishing the communication setup, cutting off the enemy from rescue.
Need to get that energy. Oh, piss off. Stupid idiot. Ah, balls. Well, I'll tell you, that's the second level's pretty tough. Anyway guys, that is the arcade version. Let's go and take a look at some of the home versions. Okay, this is the Commodore Amiga one. Looks very, very similar to the ST one, although the sound is quite a bit better. Now I managed to play this on a proper Amiga. I tried to play it under emulation and it was playing a bit rubbish, so I thought I might as well using the proper hardware. Yeah, the sound in this one is really, really good. Okay, yeah, it's looks the part. I don't quite know the significance of the little guy that runs across the screen. Bloody hell! I'm almost dead. It's a tough one, that's for sure. Dearie me. That is a lot harder than other ones. Try again. But yeah, this is an excellent version. This is graphically wise, it does look very similar to the ST, but I think this one just plays that bit better. The sound is clearer, the music's a lot better. But this is a tough version, that's for sure. But it really does look like the arcade one. Can I get to the end of the first level? Doubtful. Ah, bollocks. Anyway, listen guys, that's probably enough. That is the Commodore Amiga one. That is excellent. It's very, very, very authentic to the arcade one. So let's batter on.
Okay then, this is the ZX Spectrum. Now I had a hell of a bother getting this to work, and this was including trying it on the PC and even trying it on an original Spectrum. Apparently the Kempston option doesn't seem to work, so what I've had to do is change it to the cursor joystick, but anyway, you don't have to worry yourself about that. Right, so what we need to do is go Kempston, not Kempston, cursor. Now, right away, I notice there doesn't appear to be any sound in the actual game, which is a wee bit disappointing. There could have been some little shooty noises. I mean, there's some sort of fairly decent music, which you probably heard at the very start there. I'm not sure, how do you do the... I don't know how you do the... whoops. How you do the grenades. I mean, graphics again on the Spectrum, they're very, very detailed. The only thing is, I'm finding because it's all monochrome, it's all pretty much, I mean, they're all black and yellow. When there's a lot going on in the screen, it gets a wee bit difficult to actually see what's going on. So you get a wee noise there to say that's the end of the game. I don't know why they couldn't have stuck in some sort of shooting effects. That's a wee bit disappointing. Nice kind of inventory at the side there, all nice and colourful, but obviously they realise with the Spectrum the best way to go for that is just to stick with monochrome graphics so they can run it at a sort of slightly higher res. I mean, it plays really well, it's nice and quick. Super quick, super detailed, but again, it's just having the monochrome graphics can make it a wee bit difficult at times to see what's going on, especially when there's a lot happening and there's grenades and knives and what have you coming at you from all sides. I don't know how you do the grenades. Aye, right, let's go for one more go. I've achieved a great score. Right, okay, whatever. So, 4. I don't know whether the Spectrum version supported a light gun or not. I'm not sure about the Commodore 64 one either. I think that definitely supported the mouse because I was using the mouse. There were light guns available for 8-bit machines, but it says whether it supported that. In fact, I didn't see the option in the options screen, so probably not. I've probably just answered one question there. Yeah, this is nice. So, like I said, apart from the you know, it's a wee bit difficult to actually see just what's going on at times, and you end up shooting things like nurses that you shouldn't be shooting. Right, anyway guys, that is the ZX Spectrum version. Okay, this is Operation Wolf on the NES. I think, looking at these, you might be able to use a light gun, which would make a big difference to the controls, obviously. It's not something I have, so I'm having to make use of a joystick. Come on, what's going on here? Was I pressing the wrong fire button there? I think it was. It's not bad. The graphics are fairly detailed. Obviously lacks a wee bit of colour, but then again, that's what you're going to expect. I'm playing this using a gamepad, so it's not the ideal control for these, but I mean, sounds pretty good as well. I have to say, I've not really seen a bad version of this game yet, which is quite interesting when you think it's, you know, it was there's a lot happening on the screen. But some games just seem to port better than others. Don't know what's happening there. Looks like I'm going to be dead. Graphics aren't bad. A wee bit on the sort of pixelated side. Is that game over? I think it is. And one thing I've noticed about when I've been doing these Arcade Perfect features is that NES seems to do its own thing. They seem to always tweak, you know, the presentation. They never have it true to the arcade one. They always seem to have do their own thing when it comes to the sort of front end and that kind of stuff. And this one's no different. Don't know why that is. But again, I think if this, I mean, I'm guessing you can use a light gun in this one, and it would make a big difference. But again, the speed's up there, you know, it's there's no lagging to speak of that I can see. Completely pants at this. No surprise there. Get the juice or whatever it is. I'm probably squandering bullets left, right and centre here. Ah, balls. Anyway, yeah, that's not too bad. That's the NES version. Quite nice graphics, bit of lacky colour, which you can expect. Slightly kind of pixely graphics, but again, you know, what do you expect for an 8-bit console? So yep, that is the NES one. Let's move on. Okay, this is the Atari ST version. Let's see if we can get this going. It's got the same wee cutscene in the arcade, which is quite nice. Okay. Yeah, it looks very authentic. I remember playing this a lot on the ST when back in the day, and I was absolutely delighted with it. I mean, having the mouse control makes a big difference. It's definitely almost just as good as a light gun. Yeah, nice, excuse me, nice big sprites. Now I think the right mouse button is a grenade, which I'll find out in a minute, so I don't want to waste it. It's a bit jerkier than I remember it to be. But you know what, back in 1988, this would have been state of the art. I'm not quite sure what the relevance of that little kid is. But yeah, it plays, it looks nice. Obviously not quite the same number of colours as the arcade one. You can actually do auto fire as well, but you obviously need to conserve ammo. But yeah, this is excellent. Yep, there we go. Right mouse button does the grenades. Bollocks. I don't think the 16-bit ones, either this or the Amiga, supported light guns. I don't think there's ever a light gun for these machines, funny enough. Ah, bollocks, I thought I could take both of them out with one. Obviously not. Hey, there we go. Scene 1 cleared. That's a lot easier than I remember it.
Succeeded in demolishing the communication setup, cutting off the enemy from rescue.
Yeah, I can remember getting this, and this was like it was such a watershed moment for me and for probably most people that had an ST. You know, we'd gone from 8-bit blocky graphics, and suddenly here was this, what we deemed as like an arcade machine in our house. It was just absolutely perfect. I'll have a crack at the second level. I'm sure I'll not do too well. Begin with 0 magazines and 0 grenades, so that's no very good start. But this is a really good version, you know, and it plays nicely with the mouse. I mean, I'm using this playing this on an emulator. I'm guessing it would probably play even nicer on proper hardware. But yeah, really faithful. I said it's not quite got the same number of colours as the arcade one. There's a lot more kind of greens in this one, but that's just the limitations of the hardware itself. So all in all, a very competent version. You sit down. Yeah, but it was quite it was amazing to see these big, sort of huge big sprites running about like this. Yeah, it was really something you'd never seen in a home system before. Right, this version is dragging on a wee bit. I'm actually hoping I could die. Anyway, listen, I'm going to cut this one short now because that's on in 6 minutes. So anyway, guys, that is the Atari ST version. Right then, this is the Commodore 64 one. Now, I appear to have got the mouse working, which is a bit of a coup. Looks really nice so far. Now again, using this recording software, it seems to kind of make things that wee bit jerkier, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, this is playing really rather nice. I did have a wee shot of it before I started recording, and it does play that bit smoother when you've not got this stupid software running in the background. But this looks excellent. I had when this game came out, I had moved away from my 64. I was up to my, I think I was on my Atari or the ST at that point. But I do know that this is a version that's always been really widely thought of. Yeah, it's fast, the graphics look excellent. I mean, typically little expanded sprites look a wee bit kind of pixely, but you know what, it's fast. It's the fact that I'm using a mouse here is excellent. And there's no music to speak of then. I don't think well, the arcade one didn't have music when you're actually playing. But you've got a bit of music there obviously, now that I'm dead. Let's see if I can continue. Yeah, the presentation's excellent. As is the sound, as is the graphics, and the fact that you can play with mouse as well is a bonus. So I don't know whether you could use a light gun on the C64 one. Light guns weren't a particularly common peripheral back in the day. I think there were so few games that actually supported it. Yeah, this is certainly not running as well as it should. It's just because I've got that screen capture software running. So it wouldn't look any better, but it would certainly, you wouldn't be getting the same sort of stutter I'm getting slightly, but it's still not bad. But for an 8-bit version, this is a cracking version. Get the food. Ah, bollocks. Don't shoot nurses, that's never a good thing. Ah, right, I've just realised I've got not infinite energy, I've got balls. Anyway, listen, that's brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Looks the part. I mean, it's a scaled down version of the arcade one. You know, what more can you ask for on a home version? So yeah, let's crack on. Right, this is the PC Engine, or the TurboGrafx 16, I think it was called, in the East. Looking at the Japanese writing, I'm guessing it never actually got a release. In fact, this machine never got a release in Europe until far later on, when it was imported sort of unofficially. I think I've just proceeded to use and waste all my hand grenades. This is really nice. You can see there, graphics are super smooth, detailed. And to be fair, it's actually handles not too bad using the gamepad. Bollocks, and saying that and he immediately dies. Let's go for another go. It's always intrigued me how some Japanese games, they mix English with Japanese. What's that? You'd think they'd just stick to the one language. It'll be consistent. I keep forgetting I've got auto fire, which is quite handy, especially when you're trying to destroy helicopters and what like. This is really nice. Ah, balls. Let's go for one more go. I like this one. And you can see there it's really authentic to the arcade one. Yeah, let's just batter on. The only thing it does miss is the speech, but everything else seems to be in there. Not quite sure what I'm doing there. I think I was pausing it. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, right, I appeared to have started on a different level. Right, I didn't realise I'd done that. That's what's happened. I don't think any other versions gave you the choice. So he's also got a bulletproof vest on, so the idea is you don't shoot him from oh bugger. Arse. Doing even worse this time round. Right, anyway guys, that is the PC Engine one. That's really nice indeed. Let's batter on. Okay, this is Operation Wolf on the Master System. Now, I can't actually get this one to work. For some reason, it does support a light gun and also the control pad, but when you start the game, it just seems to, I don't know, it almost seems to default to light gun, so I'm not quite sure. I've tried it on multiple machines that I've got this Master System running on, so all I'm going to be able to do here guys is just really start the game and just comment on the graphics. I can't really play it as such, which is a bit unfortunate. I mean, it looks really good. It doesn't look too unlike the arcade one, it has to be said. Really nice, bright graphics, authentic sort of front screen as well. So yeah, all I can really do here, guys, is just let them basically kill me. Graphics look really nice. A bit of sort of glitching going on there. Again, I'm not too sure if that would happen on proper hardware. I certainly got the glitching on every other version that I was testing it on, and it looks like that's going to be the end of the game coming up already. There you go. So it's not a very good way to show you the Master System, unfortunately. Let's give it one more go. Continue. How do we continue? Don't know, no idea how to continue. Let's start again. Yeah, that's authentic to the arcade, the little intro sequence. I mean, it does look like it could be a really good version. The backgrounds look really good. The sprites look pretty good as well. Like I said, guys, I can't really comment. I mean, there's glitching at the bottom there. I don't know if that was in the original. I'd be very surprised if the Master System, the original glitch like that. You can see there some sprite here and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I can't really show you much more than that, and that's game over. So anyway, listen, we'll call it a day with that one. That is the Master System version. Okay, this is the Amstrad CPC 464 version. Now, I couldn't seem to get the joystick to work, which is a bit of a pain because I can't play games with keys for toffee. So anyway, let's set controls. Up, down, left, right. Fire, grenade. Okay, here we go, this will be fun. Now, first impressions, it looks really nice and colourful. Whoops, bugger. You don't want to do that. Now, I'm doing absolutely crap here, trying to use keys. I just can't use keys at all. So I'm gonna hide into nothing right away with this particular version. It looks really nice. Graphics are really colourful, nice and detailed. I mean, when Amstrad games are done properly, they really look the dog's bollocks. It's just a pity I can't figure out how to get the joystick to work. I've no doubt there's some way of doing it. It's certainly fast as well. So no let up at all. Ah, bugger. It sounds really good as well. Yeah, like I was saying, in the right hands, the Amstrad is a fantastic computer, and dare I say, being a C64 man, games can look a lot better on Amstrad than they can on the C64 and the Spectrum. It's just unfortunate that a lot of Amstrad games are quite kind of lazy ports of Spectrum. I think they both use the Z80 processor chip or something. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm struggling here with the keys. I mean, this game obviously in the arcade utilised a light gun, so going from a light gun to keys is pretty difficult. I'm sure there probably is a way of getting the joystick to work, but I'm just a bit too stupid to actually get that working. Let's have one more quick go. Start game, here we go. See if we can get off this first level. Taking me all my concentration here. Now, I do know that some of the home conversions, I think maybe the Spectrum and possibly even the C64 one, supported light guns. I'm not too sure. Now, what I'm doing here is probably wrong. I'm just hammering the fire button. I don't appear to have any bollocks. Anyway, listen, that's pretty tough. Certainly hard using the keys, But that's an excellent version, really bright, really colourful. I'm sure there is some way of I mean, I would probably score it down a wee bit if it was keys only, but I'm quite sure there's probably some way of actually configuring it for the joystick. So anyway guys, that is the Amstrad CPC 4641.
Okay guys, this is the final version. This is Operation Wolf and it's running on the original Xbox. It was released as part of the Taito Legends collection. It also came out for the... what did it come out for? The PS2. It may have also came out in the PS1 under a different name, not too sure. And I think it also came out on the PSP as well. So yeah, let's have a crack at this one.
Operation initiated.
Turn this sound up a wee bit. Now it's using obviously the gamepad to move, which isn't really the most accurate, precise way to do it. Probably a joystick would be easier. Graphics look top notch. I mean, I'm guessing here the fact that you've got to like insert a coin and that kind of stuff, that this is emulated, which would explain the reason it's arcade perfect, apart from the controls. But I'm really struggling with the movement of this one. Just using a gamepad just doesn't work for me. If there was a light gun for this, then you'd have the best of both worlds. You'd have an arcade perfect one with the proper controls, or even a mouse. Yeah, light gun games coupled with oh bugger, I just killed an Arse's. Light gun games coupled with gamepads, to my mind, just don't really work. Oh well, there you go, managed to go off the first level. Saying that, I'm sure when I played the arcade one, I had the same success, so the arcade one seems to be pitched slightly easier, the first level at least. Now I think, yeah, shooting animals gives you obviously extra bullets and that kind of stuff. Now it looks like I'm not going to get much further in this one. There you go, that's game over.
You have sustained a lethal injury. Sorry, but you are finished. Here.
They certainly got the worst voice actors ever for video games. Whoops. Continue play, yeah, let's continue. Got another going. Excuse me. Ah! So you shoot the tree and the guy falls out, never knew that. Ah, right, so you can actually destroy bushes as well, I never realised that either. Yeah, it's just, I find it virtually impossible to try and get precise movement using a gamepad. If you had infinite ammo I should say, it would be a hell of a lot easier, but you don't have that luxury. And you can see there I'm almost dead. I was playing the arcade version on my MameCab using a trackball, and it's really nice with a trackball. And I have to say the mouse control is pretty good as well. I'm not quite sure what the chicken actually gives you. Anyway, it's game over. Okay guys, right, listen, that's the very last version I'm going to be looking at.
But you are finished. Here.
Okay, right then, to summarise, what have we got? Right, Spectrum, ZX Spectrum. Really nice detailed graphics. Really, I mean, when you pause the game you can see the amount of detail that's going in. It's quite impressive. Super detailed graphics. Unfortunately, like most Spectrum games, they are monochrome, which makes it a wee bit difficult to actually see what's going on sometimes, especially when the screen gets pretty sort of full of different things moving. And there appeared to be a complete lacky sound, which was a bit naff. NES version, it was nice colourful graphics, pretty detailed. Sound was pretty good as well. There was an occasional graphic glitch, but nothing too bad to really score it down at all. And it seemed to have its own kind of cutscenes as well, like most NES games seem to do. Anytime they port an arcade game, they always seem to give it its own cutscenes. I don't know why they do that. Atari ST graphics, really nicely detailed. Slightly jerky movement on it, but because obviously it was able to kind of have the sampled sound as well, it does sound really nice. But I say slightly jerky graphics, but great using the mouse. Really good control. You've got the two mouse buttons for grenades and firing. Commodore 64, I loved that. Great, really great presentation. Sound was great. Music was awesome. The movement really sharp, or sort of smooth, quick, and you can also use a mouse as well. Really impressed with that version. Definitely the best 8-bit version, I would say. Although saying that, the Amstrad, it had a really good use of colour, superb presentation, sound, slightly too fast for my liking. Now I couldn't, when I was actually reviewing it, or when I was showing it, I couldn't figure out how to get the joystick to work, but I later on figured out how to do it so you can play the Amstrad one with a joystick, which made it quite a bit easier. So again, that's a really good version, 8-bit version. PC Engine, that was excellent, really authentic looking graphics. It's fast, it was smooth, great sound, and even using the Wii gamepad, it played really well. I mean, I've just played this version on the Xbox, and using the gamepad I found it pretty uncontrollable, but using the on the PC Engine, it played a treat. Didn't have any problems at all with the control, so they've obviously tweaked the control slightly to suit a sort of gamepad. Master System, unfortunately I just could not get the game to actually to play. I could get it to like load and run, but when I tried to play it, it was almost like it was defaulting to sort of a light gun mode or something, so I couldn't physically play the game. So as you probably saw, I could only let the game run on sort of demo mode or start the game, but I mean it only lasted maybe 30 seconds. The graphics looked quite nice, typical sort of Master System quality, you know, nice use of colour, hell of a lot of graphic glitching going on. Don't know again whether that's down to emulation, although I'm more inclined to think it was probably down to the hardware. Somebody did actually tell me that apparently the hardware isn't the greatest, it is quite guilty of glitching sort of thing. So yeah, and I think, let's see, the Amiga, I think the last one was the Commodore Amiga. That's a really good version. Similar graphics to ST, slightly more detailed, bit better sound, bit better sort of more colours I think. The sound is excellent, really good, really sharp sound, crystal clear, sort of samples, music samples, good bass sort of music as well. It played nice and smooth as well, so yeah, that was an excellent 16-bit version. So yep, that is it guys. I think I have covered all. I mean, I don't know if there's any other versions of this. There are obviously versions of the sequel, which is a completely different game because it's more like a scrolling in your face type thing towards you. So it's a different game, that's why I didn't feature in this particular Arcade Perfect. I may later on down the line do an Arcade Perfect of the follow-up, which was called Operation Wolf Thunderbolt, I think it was called. So anyway guys, right, let me think. Oh yeah, and lastly, this version which I've just showed you, it's obviously emulated, plays perfectly, but I just found it pretty uncontrollable using the gamepad. But obviously from an accurate point of view, this is the one to go for. So I'm going to exclude this one, because I always think it's cheating slightly. Yeah, you know, you can buy it, so you could probably say this is the best version to get apart from the control side of things, but I'm going to exclude this one from this sort of rating. In third place, let me think, I just need to do a quick recap. I am going to, in third place, bronze medal position, I'm going to go for the Amiga. As I say, it's a really nice version, really arcade authentic graphics, great sound, fantastic control, really good version. Delighted with that one. That's in third place. Second place, I'm going to go for probably the C64 one. I mean, the Amstrad one was excellent, but the C64, it played better. It wasn't quite so quick. Great sound, great presentation, great graphics. It was a bit slower, a bit more playable, plus the fact you could use a mouse as well. So for an 8-bit version, it's a super duper really playable version of the game. So I love the C64 one. The one that's going to take gold medal for in my opinion, is the PC Engine. Played lovely, really good version, super smooth, not too fast, supremely playable, and that was even using the Wii gamepad thing. So yep, go for the PC Engine in first place. So that is it, guys. That is another Arcade Perfect feature draws to a close. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope some of these features make you want to go out and play the games. I mean, some of the games I've played have been not the greatest, and some of them, after I've been playing them, makes me want to return to it. So I hope you enjoyed watching it, guys. Please leave any comments. If there's any game you want to see featured in the Arcade Perfect, a future Arcade Perfect, pop it down below. If you want to see more videos from myself, please consider subscribing. You can follow me on Twitter under Mamemeister. And I think all I've got to say now, guys, is the usual. Thanks for watching.